Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another edition of the Act and its Impact. And this one is on a really hot topic: loans from directors' relatives. Some of you might have heard about this latest amendment that's happened, and I'm sure I can hear you say, oh, not another one. But this is a good change to this Act. And this is called as the Companies Acceptance of Deposit Second Amendment Rule 2015. So what's the context of this change? It is a relaxation in respect of loans from directors' relatives. Now before we proceed, let's analyze how loans from directors' relatives got treated over a successive period of time. Part 1 was what was there in the earlier Act. Loans from directors' relatives were now treated as deposits, along with loans from directors. Then this new Act happened and said only a loan from a director will not be treated as a deposit, provided he gives a declaration that it's not out of borrowed funds. And at that stage, when this Act was enacted, there was no exemption for a loan from a director's relative from being classified as a deposit. And then there was a phase 3 to it, which was a circular which came in 2015, which said that any loan from a director, member or a director's relative which was obtained prior to 1/4/2014 need not be treated as a deposit. Which meant that amounts received from directors' relatives or members after that date would need to be treated as deposit. And now we have the fourth distinct phase where we have the second amendment to the acceptance of deposit rules, which says that a loan from a director's relative also need not be treated as a deposit only for a private company, provided that it's accompanied by a declaration that it's not out of borrowed funds and it's disclosed in the board report. So, as it stands today, with effect from September 15th, 2015 or the Gazette notified date, a loan from a director's relative need not be treated as a deposit, provided the declaration condition is satisfied. Now this brings to the fore some very interesting issues that you may want to remember. One, the definition of a relative has changed. So the previous Act had a very expansive, very large definition of relatives, while this Act has a much shorter definition. And the second thing, which is a bit of a mystery, is there is a specific exemption for loans obtained before 1/4/2014, and now there's a separate exemption for loans obtained from directors' relatives after 15th September 2015. So what happens to the intervening period of April 14 to September 2015? Well, you'll have to handle it appropriately. Well, from an equity perspective, it looks like you don't need to treat it as a deposit, but please do make sure you have an opinion to back this, because I'm not very certain on how the ministry or the MCA would react to this disclosure. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to the Act and its impact. Thank you.